James, Happy New Year. Let's dive right into our weather here because on the first coast, we do have a weather impact alert that starts at 1 p.m., so just a couple of hours away now, and then that will go until about 10 o'clock this evening. It's not going to be an all-day rain here on the first coast. It just depends where you are when you'll see that rain and thunderstorm activity. So let's start with a live look out across the first coast, and for a lot of northeast Florida, you have a mix of sun and clouds, a good bit of blue out there, some clouds too, but then when we get this pulled up, I want to point your attention to Waycross. Look at the raindrops on the screen there. We already have steady rain moving across portions of southeast Georgia. So here's the big picture. You can see that rain off the coast of the Tampa Bay area, the solid line of rain from the Panhandle, maybe the Destin area up towards Waycross and Brunswick, and then another chunk of rain moving east through places like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina now. But zooming in to here on the First Coast and the First Coast News viewing area, we do have some steady rain across our northern areas in southeast Georgia. Waycross, Nahunta, Bristol, over towards Brunswick, St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island, Sea Island, all getting some of that rain. Now, our weather impact alert officially starts at 1 p.m. We're starting it then because that's when we think we'll have a higher risk of severe weather starting. It's going to last through about 10 o'clock this evening, and this rain is going to move from north to south. So weather impact alert in effect, as we already talked about the timing, 1 to 10 o'clock for rain and thunder, but it is possible that a few storms could potentially be strong. We do know a lot of people have outdoor plans on their Saturday, and so if you are out and about later in the day, please have some shelter nearby, someplace you could get inside to quickly if you hear thunder or you see that rain approaching. So those of you under the severe weather risk, mainly across southeast Georgia and in northeast Florida, it would be the I-10 corridor and the 301 corridor. So not everyone in our coverage area under that severe weather risk. Another thing I want to point out, notice it's highlighted green. Green is a level 1 marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 when it comes to a severe weather threat. So it's our lowest risk for severe weather, but it's still not zero. Our main concern is wind that would be 40 to 60 miles per hour. So those gusts starting to knock things around, maybe knock over some empty trash cans or any sort of loose, lightweight outdoor items. Once you get up to 60 mile per hour winds, that can really start to cause some damage. So we'll have to keep an eye on the winds. It will also be breezy out ahead of the rain too, and a little bit behind it. So just something to keep in mind. It will already be breezy, and then when the storms move through, we could have those stronger wind gusts. We can't rule out small hail and maybe an isolated brief tornado. The risk is very low, but again, it's not zero. So it's something I'm going to be here all day watching for you all. But again, that tornado risk, very low. Here's the timing of it. As mentioned, starting at 1 o'clock, that's when we could have the severe weather risk start to ramp up just a bit, and that would be across southeast Georgia. This rain, these storms, they will move southeast across southeast Georgia through the afternoon hours and start to enter Florida late in the afternoon and into the early evening. For places like the Jacksonville metro, I think you're going to get the worst of the rain 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Also notice southeast Georgia, you're not done yet. You could have another round of rain and storms around 7 o'clock as well. After that time, we do think the severe weather threat goes down, but it's still going to be a heavy rain event, especially for those of you in places like St. Augustine, Palatka, Palm Coast. So the weather impact alert goes until 10 o'clock just because you'll be getting that heavy rain on your Saturday evening. That will create slick roads and any sort of Saturday evening plans. Maybe some of you still heading out to something like Nights of Lights in St. Augustine. You'll have to worry about the rain more like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and then we'll be clearing around 10 o'clock. So generally speaking, our storm timing, noon to 7, for those of you in southeast Georgia, you'll get a bit of a break and you could have another round of storms again in the evening hours. Those of you in the Jacksonville area, starting 3:30 and then continuing until latest about 8 o'clock, it looks like right now. And then again, it's later for those of you down in southeast areas of the First Coast, where it's more of a heavy rain event rather than a severe thunderstorm event for you all. As mentioned, it's going to be breezy out there. We already have the winds starting to pick up for some areas, and we'll see some stronger gusts over 20 miles an hour throughout our afternoon hours and then into this evening. But notice later on, after the round of rain and storms passes by, the winds will be relaxing later on this evening. before the rain arrives, it's getting warm for a lot of us. Now, as we already showed you, there's still a lot of steady rain out there across places like Waycross, Nahunta to Brunswick. So that is obviously inhibiting how much you're going to warm up. Your highs today staying in the 60s. But those of us in Northeast Florida who won't see the rain for quite some time, we are warming up. We are getting well into the 70s, around 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of year. As we head into our overnight hours, temperatures do drop down into the lower 50s, still a little bit warmer than normal, as usually we're sitting in the low and middle 40s for our lows at the Jacksonville airport. But then tomorrow, it will be noticeably cooler. We will have some cloud cover to start. We will have gradually clearing skies throughout our Sunday, and our highs will stay in the 60s and even the 50s for some of you along the beaches tomorrow. Of course, we do have a Jags game tomorrow, a big game, and we will talk about that in a couple of minutes. But just to give you a look at our highs all across the First Coast for Sunday, a much cooler day. In fact, we're going to go from warmer than normal temperatures today to cooler than normal temperatures on Sunday. But if you like the warm weather, it comes right back on Monday. Those highs get right back into the lower 70s, and they don't stop there. We're going to continue to see those temperatures rise back into the middle 70s and then even the upper 70s by the end of the upcoming work week. So here's a look at your most accurate 7-day forecast here on the First Coast. Weather impact alert in effect today, 1 p.m. until 10 p.m. Depending on where you are, it's more of an afternoon situation for Southeast Georgia into the early evening, and then more of an evening situation for those of us in Northeast Florida. A few storms could be strong, so I'm asking you all to stay weather aware throughout the day. If you're watching this right now, you're already doing the right thing by staying weather aware. So please just stay updated and stay with me throughout the day today. Then James, here locally, we're getting chilly tomorrow, but then we are right back into the 70s for next work week.
Yeah, Lee, awesome. Super thorough. Great job. There's not a lot of cold air with the front, so we might have a chilly start into Monday morning just because of the front, and you guys will be kind of chillier tomorrow morning, but it's a brief little cool down before those temperatures pop right back up. But what's different about this front as compared to the last front is that this one actually has some rain. We're going to get some rain and maybe some spotty showers here in the Bay Area, but we don't really have the severe threat that you guys have further north as you're closer to the area, the greater area of instability and energy, and we are. And of course, those fronts tend to kind of weaken as they move into the Bay Area as well.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you all don't have the severe weather risk, and you don't have a weather impact alert in effect, or do you?
No, we do not. I mean,
you do not,
kind of
yeah,
marginal.
because you'll just have...
Right, by the time the rain gets to us tonight, the chances do increase, but it's really kind of overnight. So I don't think it would be very impactful for our viewers. Obviously, you guys will be going during the day and into tonight and have a higher threat. So I totally get it. But, you know, it's great that we can do this because this is where our weather is coming from. You guys get it first, and then we get it second, and we'll be dealing generally showery weather. We might see a couple brief heavy downpours, but again, we're not in a level 1 risk. We're just, have a kind of generalized thunderstorm risk. So, Lee,
right,
thanks.
so as we are wrapping up, you guys will really start to have it picking up.
Yes.
So take it away. Let's see what your rain chances are and the timing.
Yeah, no doubt. We're at 72 right now, Lee, as we look out over Clearwater. So like Lee mentioned, out ahead of the front, things are going to warm up with those southerly winds. We got a south wind at 13. So good look and go outside right now, but you could start to see the clouds building in. And this is right on cue. So I was calling for a beautiful start to the day, and then the clouds picking up, and then unfortunately the afternoon is not going to be as nice, is not going to be as pretty, but tomorrow afternoon will be. So if you want a good looking afternoon, you got to wait until tomorrow, but a very different flow tomorrow afternoon with those northwestern winds behind the front. So here's the deal right now. Temperatures hovering in the mid 70s, Safety Harbor at 75, St. Pete at 74, as we head towards Sun City about 76. We head a little further southward down into Sarasota, and we're in the mid 70s here. So the temperatures are doing their thing, coming up pretty nicely as well. Winds, as you might imagine, more of a southerly direction at about 13, 14 miles an hour. Clearwater, 21. So, yeah, we're pumping in those warmer winds. But look at Crystal River. It's a north wind. So that gives you a little indication of where that frontal boundary is starting to push towards. All right, so as we head into the afternoon hours, futurecast here, 3:30. Couple spotty showers, maybe over towards Pasco County, Citrus and Hernando counties. And then by 6 o'clock, o'clock. Keep in mind our Bucks are playing at 4:30 at Ray J in Tampa. So by 6 o'clock, it doesn't look like we've got much of rain going on at Ray J. And then by 8, 9 o'clock starts to get a little busier. Maybe we get the game in before some of those showers try to move through Tampa itself and in through portions of northern Hillsborough County. And then into the overnight hours, that frontal boundary sags further southward and then drives the rain with it. We have about a 10% chance for showers tomorrow morning, and that's really only up to about 6 a.m. By about 6:30, 7 o'clock, booyah, we're done. See ya. And the skies will start clearing out nicely. Look at that, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It is a gorgeous afternoon with that northeastern wind at about 6. So the wind swings around to the north and east, and that means those skies are really going to kind of clear out. And, setting up for what will be a cooler start Monday morning. So, Lee, this is what I was referring to. Post-frontal passage Monday morning certainly gets cooler here, 57 degrees at about 6 a.m., kind of the overnight low. So, one cooler wake up before things start to warm right back up. So any cool down is short-lived, and it's not so much because of a pool of colder air behind the front. It's really because of the front kind of clearing out our skies, or winds kind of switching direction and, and dropping out. So it's a pretty good radiational cooling night Sunday into Monday morning. And that's why we start to see those changes. And, we do need the rain. We'll get to that drought map coming up as well. So radar picture right now. And again, we don't have nearly the threat and probably as much rain forecasted for us here in the Bay Area as Lee does for the folks up on the First Coast. So it is the cold front that is the catalyst. So we've got about a 30% chance of rain today during the daylight hours, during the daylight hours. That's fair to say. And then by tomorrow, it's a 10%. And that's really just overnight, up to about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So the humidity trend, humid. Humidity values increasing, no doubt, as we head in through today and in towards early tomorrow morning. And then we're going to watch those dew point temperatures drop as well. So forecasted rainfall for us here looks like this. And you know what? As we zoom it on in, we've got the potential for, a third of an inch or more. Crystal River, the further north you get, those rainfall totals, forecasted totals, are certainly higher, and that absolutely makes sense as these cold fronts tend to kind of sag southward from, let's say, Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra and from the Panhandle. They tend to lose a little bit of oomph with it. All right, drought conditions, and we're still in that severe drought across a good portion of the area. Lee and the First Coast did have some extreme drought conditions. That condition has improved greatly. Panama City and areas around there still have a small pocket of extreme drought, but our drought conditions have gotten better. All right, I don't want to get into the Panthers and Bucks just yet. Let's take a quick short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some Panthers and Bucks and talk about some Jacksonville sports as well. All of that coming up on the other side of the break. Stay with us. Now we're going to come back and I'll bring Lee back in. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's bring Lee back in from First Coast. And Lee, you got some sports going on this weekend as well. So, yeah, let's jump right into that Jacksonville sports forecast.
Oh, are you sure? I feel like you should go first. One, because
All right.
your game's today, mine's tomorrow. But two, I really want to know your opinion since you are sitting in enemy territory today.
This is true. This is true. So, I don't know. I mean, of course, I want the Bucs to win, Lee, but you know what? They have not been playing great of late. And Todd Bowles, the coach, is certainly on the hot seat. So we'll see what happens. I think weather is really not going to be a factor unless it moves in hard, in the second half. So, Baker Mayfield's got to get it done today. As simple as that, and the rest of the Bucs. So, yeah. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You are being a very nice Panthers fan right now.
Right. Exactly. So it is what it is.
Because I feel like, isn't this some? I mean, it's hard. I've been so focused on the Jags, but this has like playoff potential for you guys, right?
So not only do the Bucs need to win, but I think the Saints need to lose, something like that. So yeah, it's like one of those double game results that need to happen. So we'll see, and again, I'd love for the Bucs to show up and Baker to come out there and start hammering, completing passes, not throwing any interceptions, and we'll see what happens there, right?
All right, big game. I know we will all be watching. It's on our channel here on ABC on the First Coast, so First Coast News. And then we here in Jacksonville have a big game for us tomorrow. We have the Jags game, of course, and they're taking on the Titans. And honestly, if you've been watching First Coast News, you've heard our sports reporters and anchors talking about how the Titans have actually gotten a little bit better over the past couple of weeks, so we can't go in too confident. But we will have a much cooler game. So it's going to be a little bit surprising after the warmth today and how we'll be warm right behind it. But Sunday is our cooler game. But that's really the only thing to talk about when it comes to the weather, because the rain will have been long gone by then, well cleared out of there. But highs in the lower 60s, and there will be a little bit of a northeasterly breeze, especially if you're sitting up high in the nosebleeds, you're going to feel that breeze, and that means it will be feeling like the 50s. So for anyone here watching that's going to the Jags game, I absolutely recommend a jacket. It will be feeling a bit cooler out there.
All right, Lee. Now, me being the former Northerner, I do like the cooler temperatures, though. So I think I would love to go to a game at 60 degrees. And you're like, grab the jacket.
I'm like, oh, it's going to be so chilly. Yeah. I feel like 70 degrees is good Florida football weather. I like y'all's forecast better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're in the 70s, so it is definitely more Florida-ish. So, and definitely milder. But, there's a part of Raymond James Stadium, that early in the season it gets so much sun. So it almost is too hot and too uncomfortable to sit on that side for like a September game, especially like an early to mid-September